All transportation depends on technology, whether it's the wheel, the jet engine, or the computer chip. Transportation is not just technology, it's a system of technology, people, energy, money, and more. But advances in technology play a key role in shaping transportation systems, which in turn help to shape our lives, landscapes, and culture. Travel in the early 19th century was so much slower and more difficult than it is today that it was not easy to remember that it was also a time of significant change and improvement. By 1840, 3,000 miles of railroad track had been laid down, most of it concentrated in the northeast. This means that travel between directly connected cities could be much faster than before. A trip between Boston and Rochester now took less than 2 hours, and travelers could reach New York City from Boston in less than a day, using both coastal streams, steamship, and railway. Americans did not invent the automobile, but over the last century, cars have become to define much of what it means to be an American, a symbol of independence and personal freedoms. Cars made us mobile, transformed our society, and shaped our modern culture. Frank Whittle's jet engine transformed travel. The jet engine has allowed millions of people now to do something that was barely thinkable just 70 years ago, crossing the Atlantic at speed. The Wrights may have invented the first real aeroplanes, but the credit for the invention of the jet engine goes to Mr. Frank Whittle. The 1950s American automobile culture has had an enduring influence on the culture of the United States. The American manufacturing economy switched from producing war-related items to consumer goods at the end of World War II. And by the end of the 1950s, 1 in 6 working Americans were employed either directly or indirectly in the automotive industry. The United States became the world's largest manufacturer of automobiles, and Henry Ford's goal of 30 years earlier that any man with a good job should be able to afford an automobile was achieved. A new generation of service business, focusing on customers with their automobiles, sprang up during the decade, including drive-through or drive-in restaurants and more drive-in theaters. The United States is home to the second largest passenger vehicle market of any country in the world, second now to China. Overall, there were an estimated 263.6 million registered passenger vehicles in the United States in 2015. As for the future, who knows what it holds? Perhaps rocket ships and transporters to beam us across town. But what is clear is technology will continue to change transportation, and transportation will continue to change our lives. Americans depend on their transportation system to keep them, and the largest economy in the world, on the move.